So I have a great little story that illustrates this. There's this little boy, William. Anybody ever have little kids in here? Yeah? So he's 5 years old. And he finds a caterpillar in the garden. And he brings it into his mom and he says, oh my gosh, look at this. I found a caterpillar. It's amazing. And he's so excited. He says, can I keep it? Can I keep it? Can I keep it? Can I keep it? I'm an auntie, so I can't resist that. I know I could get some schooling from parents about how to resist that urge. But she agrees, yes, on a few conditions you can keep the caterpillar, right? You have to research and figure out what type of habitat does it need, what food, what's gonna allow it to thrive. So together they figured all these details out. Turns out big mason jar, a little bit of soil in the bottom, some grass and leaves are fine. It actually doesn't need water because it gets enough hydration through the grass and plants. And some sticks, right? Because caterpillars at some point are gonna hang on things. And so one day, after loving up this caterpillar for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, he notices something's wrong. Caterpillar's hanging on the tree, it's all white. What's going on? Brings it to his mom. His mom recognizes what's going on. We all know what's going on, right? Caterpillar's building a cocoon. She tells him the story about what's gonna happen. And you can imagine to a 5-year-old what that would be like, right? That inside of this white cocoon is the caterpillar that he knew, and this magic's gonna happen, and out's gonna come a butterfly, right? And they just see the magic, right? We could learn a lot from them. And so he's watching every day, he's excited, he can't wait, and sure enough, he starts to notice a little hole starts to open up, right? Oh my God, it's happening. And he can see it's not the caterpillar, right? So it's really happening. This is so cool, but he starts to realize, gosh, it seems like he's really struggling in there, right? It's not easy to get out of that little tiny hole. So what does he do? He goes and gets some scissors. I guess you guys know this story. And he opens it a little bit bigger. He doesn't open it the whole way, just a little bit bigger. Give him a chance, right, to get through. And sure enough, out drops this sort of weird looking creature. It's got this big swollen body, these kind of shriveled up wings. This does not look like the caterpillar that my mom showed me on Google Images. It's kind of wet and it sort of walks around the mason jar. Something is wrong, right? This does not look like what I saw. And so he says to his mom, what's going on here? This is wrong, I don't get it. And his mom takes him to the university to meet with one of the scientists. And the scientist, she actually doesn't know about the hole cutting with the scissors. The scientist explains, once he starts to hear the story, okay, I see what's gone wrong here. And he explains to the little boy, actually, during that process, when that little tiny hole opens and the butterfly begins to struggle to get out of that little hole, it's an incredibly important part of the transformative process. Because what's happening is all the fluid that's built up in the old caterpillar's body that's transforming into a much smaller butterfly body needs to be flushed out in order to make the wings. And so, what is the moral of our story? We don't wish suffering on our life, of course not. We don't want to struggle, but when it shows up, remember, it is there to help you build the wings you will need so that you can fly.